Sooner or later you'll discover that a style rule stops working after you make some changes to another part of your style sheet. This lesson explains how to resolve conflicting styles. CSS applies styles through what's known as the cascade. The basic principle of the cascade is that all style rules flow down through the page. Elements nested inside others inherit most properties from the outer elements. If the same property is applied twice, the normal rule is for the one lower down to take precedence. Lower down can mean lower down the HTML hierarchy, in other words, nested inside one or more other elements. Alternatively, it can mean lower down the style sheet. As long as both rules have equal weight, the one lower down wins. But CSS is not a democracy. Not all rules are equal. That's where a principle called specificity comes in. The simple way to work out the specificity of a style rule is to assign the following values to each part of the selector. Inline styles have a value of 1,000. ID selectors have a value of 100. Classes, pseudoclasses and attribute selectors each have a value of 10, and type or tag name selectors and pseudo-elements come at the bottom of the heap with a value of just 1 each. So this table represents selectors in descending order of specificity or precedence. Inline styles have the highest precedence, IDs come next, and so on. Here are a few examples. The first selector in this table is a type or tag name selector, so it has a specificity of 1. When the link pseudoclass is added, it increases to 11, so it overrides the basic selector. The next example contains an ID and a type selector, so its specificity is 101. The final example contains an ID, 2 type selectors and a pseudoclass, giving it a specificity of 112, so it trumps all the preceding ones. However, it's only when there's a conflict that specificity comes into play. This style rule sets 3 properties that apply to all links unless another rule overrides it. This second rule applies only to links in an element with the ID nav. It has higher specificity, but color is the only property where there's a conflict. So links styled by the second rule will inherit the bold font weight and no text decoration from the first rule. But the color won't be inherited. Links in the nav element will be red instead of green. They'll also have a larger font size. To summarize, when 2 style rules that affect an element set the same property, the value in the rule with the higher specificity is used. All other values are inherited from the rule with lower specificity. Most of the time, you don't need to worry about specificity. It's only when there's a conflict, and then you'll be glad to know what to look for and how to calculate which rule takes precedence over another.